testosterone, we have a problem.
This is Outside the Manosphere, where two guys with zero credentials dive past the cliches of masculinity and try and become better friends by actually talking to each other. It's weirdly hard, but we're doing it anyway. Join us.
Welcome to Outside the Manosphere. My name is Carlos.
And I'm Skip. How you doing this week, Carlos?
I'm all right. I guess you know what? I'm going to jump right into complain mode. I say I'm all right because that's like the American way. I am all right.
Yeah.
But day before yesterday, my two male dogs got into a fight.
Oh, no.
Which seems like not a big deal. I think like my father-in-law was annoyed that we didn't go for lunch as we had planned. But it's like, I mean, when your dogs fight, it sucks, man. Like they were like bloodied and they had holes all in their hide and like,
wow,
they were upset.
That's serious.
And we had to separate them. Yeah, they were like big fights, and then they were injured, and you know, yeah, it wears you down a bit. We had to take them to the vet. It was super expensive, and so yeah, that's my complaint. I'm still kind of like, and I've been sleeping downstairs with one of them because I just feel bad that he's down there all by himself, and like, you know, they fought. It's not like a punishment or anything, but like just to keep them separate until they kind of like get over it. Anyway, so that's kind of like where my head's at right now. I'm a little groggy from sleeping on the sofa downstairs. And so, yeah, that's my complaint. But otherwise, yeah, nothing really exciting, nothing new, nothing bad. Just a little hiccup in my week. What about you?
Yeah, it's mixed bag. So there have been some real good things and some not so good things.
All right.
Yeah, my sciatica is still bugging me, which sucks. But next week I get my first PT appointment. So hopefully that will help. And just destroyed her knee on Sunday. And that's pretty bad because right now we're in Poland. We had already set up a trip to go hiking.
Oh, no good.
So now we're just kind of like, we've taken some little walks, but basically we're just kind of like hanging out in the hotel, which is also very nice. They've got like a pool and stuff, but it's not the trip that we had been hoping for because movement's good for me, for my sciatica. And of course now her knee is just really hurt. So
right. Does she have like a brace or anything?
She does. She always, like when she skates, she has 2 braces that she wears already. And she found out recently she just has like a misshapen patella that she never knew about. And then she was trying to get some stuff done. And it just made it worse. And then it just got really bad the other day. So
she's out for a while, huh, as far as skating goes?
Yeah. They had a game. She's actually got a flight and like a place to stay in Malmö, Sweden for this weekend. And she's just going to go on bench coach because she can't skate.
No, that's too bad.
That's kind of a bummer. But we had a really good friend visit us in Prague that had lived in Prague for, you know, more than a decade and was my roommate for a long time. So that was real nice. And we're in Poland and the leaves are changing. It's pretty. So that's nice.
What part of Poland are you guys at?
We're just on the other side of Śnieżka. So Śnieżka is the largest mountain in the Czech Republic, and it shares the border with Poland. And we're just right around the back of the border. You know, it's real pretty. There's some snow around and
that's nice.
Leaves changing. And
for a bordering country to the Czech Republic, I never made it to Poland. That was I don't regret it. Like, it wasn't like on my bucket list, but like,
Poland.
No offense to Poland. But like, I do regret not visiting like the Colosseum in Rome and not visiting Pompeii. Why didn't I do those things? I don't know, but I'll still do them eventually. But yeah, Poland was never like high on my list of things, and I never got there. And yeah, I don't know why. It would have been nice to. It would have been nice to say that I went to Poland, but never.
I've been here a bunch of times. There's some real cute little cities. For a while, one of our favorite places to go with kids was Wrocław because they've got little elf statues like all over the city, and you can go around with kids and you're seeing sights and stuff, but they're looking for, and you are too, looking for elves, and there's hundreds of statues, and they're cool. They're fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all cool. Like different and doing things like stealing ice cream cones and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So it's a fun. That's a fun little town, especially when you're traveling and you've got like young kids. It's hard to find things that are like fun for everybody.
To keep them interested. Yeah.
And so that was a good place. And yeah, I've been other places other times, but yeah, Poland's all right.
The elf thing sounds fun, even if you're an adult. Like that's something I think I would
Yeah, it
enjoy.
is. And the language is similar enough to Czech that it's like,
You
you
can
know,
pick
you
up
can
a lot of
read.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we have. Well, I guess they're more my in-laws' friends, but we met them first. There is a Czech guy, and his wife is Polish, and they're elderly at this point. But yeah, she's from Poland, and they speak together in Czech. And well, she speaks Polish to him, and he responds in Czech. And then
Mhm.
when they're with my in-laws, I think she must be speaking Polish as well. And my father-in-law, at least, he understands everything she's saying because he grew up in the Czech Republic, or his youth in the Czech Republic anyway. So yeah, anyway, it's interesting that the whole Slavic language was a whole thing that I just wasn't. It wasn't on my radar when I was younger because it was always like Latin stuff,
Yeah,
French and Spanish and Italian. But yeah, the Slavic language, Slavic root is like exactly the same thing. I think it's cool. Anyway, digression. But what's what's going on with your friend who is visiting?
She just, interestingly, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, because you knew Patrice.
You know what? I knew her through you guys, and
Yeah.
I was never close to her. I only added her on Facebook like fairly recently because I'm like, why am I not friends with her after all these years? So
Yeah.
but I have never talked to her online or anything.
But she actually just graduated nursing school, so she's a nurse.
Oh,
so
okay.
all my friends are going into healthcare. But she had asked like for a little time off to go to a wedding or something, and then something happened. I don't know, but she had the time off, so she was like, "Oh, I'll come to the Czech Republic for like 4 days," because
Nice.
she lived here forever and she's got a lot of really close friends here. So yeah, she stayed with us a couple nights. She left this morning. We'd already left, but yeah, good to hang out, play games.
That's cool. And you guys were roommates in the U.S., yeah?
No, we were roommates here. We were roommates in the Czech Republic for years.
Didn't you guys like hike the Appalachian Trail together or something like that?
She hiked the Appalachian Trail both ways, and on one of her trips, I did the entire Shenandoah National Park with her.
Nice. That was always on my bucket list, and I never got to it either. A lot of missed opportunities for me in this episode.
Opportunities for the future.
Hey, you're right.
Your body still works.
The mountain range has been there for what?
At least 2 more weeks.
Till
the oil people get there.
Yeah, until they start leveling it for minerals. All right, so continuing with this Upworthy article that we had discussed last time for our Manthropology. Is it Manthropology or Communicate? Yeah, it was Communicate for the Manosphere. Not that it really matters. We're inventing all these categories anyway.
Yeah.
But the first one was Real Men Don't Eat Salad / the all meat diet is what they partake in. And if you're interested in hearing that, listen to our last episode 25. But for the second one of this list here is Real Men Don't Display Love and Affection for Their Partners. What do you think about that, Skip?
I think it's bullshit. And moreover, like as a father, if they're not showing love and affection for their partners, they're definitely not showing love and affection to their kids.
For sure.
And there's like, this is like the theme of many movies and books, and I'm guessing therapy sessions. It's certainly the theme of our current president, I think.
He just abolished the East Wing of the First Lady's office.
Yeah. And I think just like it's just tied to a lot of things, right? Like it's in line with that whole like empathy is evil, and we've heard from Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk and others just the idea that you should give a shit about other people being weakness or something like that. But it's just like, no, that's how society functions, and like kind of the heart of what a family is. You're not just this alpha male, as they like to call themselves, with family members that are there to serve you. Like they're not employees, There's a point to having a family. And family is all about love and relationships. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think you hit it by saying they're not there to serve you, because like to withhold love and affection from your partner and like exactly as you said, your family, and as a logical next step, is just selfish. Like if you're not doing that, like, well, who are you giving that to? And who is that? That it's all still in you. Like, where's it going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just to not do that to your partner. And I hate shitting on my grandfather because I've done it already in this episode, not in this episode, in prior episodes. But I mean, he was a complex human being with like clear issues that he never resolved before
Yeah.
he died. And man, just growing up seeing, I mean, my mother was a whole other witness to that, but being a kid and seeing how like he would order my grandmother around and like never saw affection from them. I didn't think that there was like any love in that relationship. And then he had like 4 daughters, which is hilarious, and 1 son, and it was the last kid that they had. It was the son was the last kid. 4 daughters that he completely withheld love and affection for, and just showered everything, put all his energy into the last kid, which was a boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, my mother, she's still pissed about it. You can get her worked up thinking about it, even though he's already passed away.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, it affected her, and it affected all of them. And you know, who knows? My grandmother's also passed away, but I don't know how she viewed life, you know, through a lens of the sort of kept woman. You know what I mean?
It's interesting because my mother comes from a family with 7 sisters and a brother.
Oh,
And
really?
the brother was not one of the first ones. So like very kind of similar feeling. Although I don't think that her father poured all his energy into the son. I think he was kind of more of a father. But I think when we're talking about people of this generation and these ding-dongs in the manosphere that think they're being strong, I think what it stems from is actually fear and cowardice, especially in that time. Yeah, men didn't know how to show emotion. They didn't do it. They didn't know how, and to do so was something very uncomfortable. And you see the remnants of that in families like, you know, waspy families like me and my wife's family, where like people don't talk very well. They don't talk about stuff. And like you know, you'll send a message to a parent about something important, and there'll be silence for a while, and they'll be like, "How's your kid doing?" Like they'll change the subject or something like that, or like they'll be like, "Oh, that's really too bad." There's not like a lot of ability to communicate, and I think there's sort of a cowardice to try and do things uncomfortable and to express these things. And they want to masquerade and say that makes them an alpha male. And what they want to play that it's strong, but they're just avoiding things that are uncomfortable for them and making their lives and everyone around them, their lives worse. And they're saying that it's strength. It's weakness playing as strength.
Right.
It's kind of this embarrassing puff out your chest when there's nothing there. Like you're not actually doing things that are hard. And I think that's a lot of what I attach to manliness is bravery, I guess, because I think there's a lot of things that we think of as manliness that is just adultness. Like it's the same for women and men. But I do attach like manliness to braveness. And I don't think that means like jumping off of mountains or stuff, but necessarily, but like doing things that are hard, that are challenging. And those things might not always be the most textbook manly things, but that's kind of where the frontiers are for men.
So I've got an example of that actually. It's not really bravery. It's not bravery at all actually, but it's all related. So in the Czech Republic, I'm assuming it's the same thing as it is now. You're probably better suited to verify or not with a 14-year-old. But I know that a lot of kids, they take like, I don't know if it's time off of school or if it's like an extracurricular thing where they learn ballroom dancing. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, there are still some of that. My kid's not doing that yet. Like there are kids that learn that. I mean, they have proms here. Like their proms are like galas, you know, where they rent out a beautiful space and they all get in, you know, sort of like, I mean, at my school, we had tuxes and dresses and stuff like that. But it's, you know, there's just kind of like, and there's proms, not just for kids, but there's proms for adults. Like there's prom season in Prague. So adults will go and wear nice clothes and go to these dances and stuff like that. So it is kind of like, there is sort of a little bit of a culture around it. Yeah.
Well, there was at least, you know, 10 years ago or so when I was there, because I remember talking a lot about it with my students and how they would have time off in high school to go formally learn to dance. And I don't mean like hip hop dancing. I mean like waltzes and that kind of thing. and they would have to get dressed up, and then there'd usually be like an event or whatever, like a prom.
Yeah.
But they were young; they were like 14, 15, 16 type age. But it was an ongoing thing where they would learn, and more than one male student would be like, "Oh yeah, no, we would just skip that and we'd go to the bar." Like they'd be like young kids going to the bar and like drinking beer, but like celebrating that, like rather than going and doing this cultural thing like that was gay, they would go and just go drink because it wasn't like a manly thing. And taking that further, before I met you and Jess, my ex-girlfriend there in the Czech Republic, we started taking salsa lessons, like salsa dancing lessons. And case in point, and we were talking, that's what I said, it's not exactly related to bravery because it's not brave to take like dancing lessons.
Right.
But I was one of two men there, and the rest, all the rest were women. And I mean, I couldn't think of a more masculine thing because like there were so few men there that we had to rotate. So I was just dancing with all the women there, and it was just it was awesome. And I was like, this is great. Like I'm dancing with all these women, and they want to dance with me, and they're excited, and like I'm learning how, so they're not going to think I'm a bad dancer. Like it was so much fun, and I was like, man, the guys have no idea what they're missing by avoiding this. You know what I mean? If they could just jump in, if they want to talk to girls, this is the best place to do it. If they want to like get in close contact with a woman, this is the place to do it. Like, you man up and do this thing that you think is not manly because it's the opposite. So anyway, this whole conversation just today reminded me of that avoidance. And you mentioned bravery. It's like, you don't want to do this thing because it makes you uncomfortable, but like it's actually the opposite of what you're thinking if you just go give it a shot. Yeah.
No, I actually have another experience that you talking about that reminded me of, which was when I worked at Victoria's Secret. It became a really good litmus test for dudes because I'd say that I worked at Victoria's Secret and someone would be like, oh, that's cool. And some of them would be like, oh, that's gay. And it's like, there was nothing less gay than working at Victoria's Secret. And, it was just such a funny thing because like men are afraid to go in that store. And, it was just such a different perspective on things from inside that I really enjoyed it. And my dad would always enjoy saying that his son was in women's lingerie when people asked what I did.
That's
so
funny.
that, and you can just you can tell a lot about a person by the way they react to these things.
Right.
And it's like, it was a job, but also like I was the only guy that worked there. And it was a lot of fun. Like it was a fun place to work. I worked with great people. Weird things happened there, especially as a guy. And it always got me an interview for a long time after it was on my resume because people would want to talk to me about managing Victoria's Secret. But it was a good litmus test, and it's a good litmus test, like just people even not being able to walk into a store with lingerie. It's like, what exactly is it that you're afraid of here? Like, because it is fear. It's fear. Like,
and I kind of chalk that up to immaturity, which is I mean, you can be, in your mid 40s, 50s, 60s and still be that immature. But like, because I remember being like 16, 17 and like my girlfriend wanted to go in there. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go in there. You know what I mean? And like waiting outside the mall.
Too pink. I'll turn gay.
Yeah. Well, I really like, I don't even know why I wouldn't do it, but it's more embarrassing to be like, hanging on the railing outside the store. Waiting for your partner to come out of there because you don't want to go in there. Like why wouldn't you go? It's just you're drawing more attention to yourself not going into the damn store than just like waiting outside like an asshole. You know what I mean? It's I don't know why. Was it gay to go in the store? Was it like not manly? I don't know why I wouldn't do that as a teenager. But like, I mean, now if I went in there, I think I'd be a little uncomfortable just because I feel like maybe women would be like, why is this guy in here? Is this is he a pervert or is he like I don't know, like I maybe I'd be a little uncomfortable doing it, but not because I'd be questioning my sexuality or I don't look masculine enough, you know what I mean? Like it would just be more like I don't want to make someone uncomfortable by being in there. I don't know. I really haven't given it thought actually now that I think about it.
No, and I get like the discomfort. I fully get the discomfort. It is a place where that is not built for men specifically. But like, there's nothing to fear. And like, a lot of nice husbands come in there and buy gift certificates or robes or,
Sure. Yeah.
smelly
Yeah. Yeah.
things or whatever, or they know what their wife likes or however the case might be. Yeah, but it does make people uncomfortable. And like, interestingly, we would get, and it was actually to a point of kind of helpful annoyance on the part of some of the salespeople on the floor, because we would get stutterers that came in, and specifically because it made them nervous,
It would trigger their stutter.
It would trigger they had to come in, like it was an assignment to come into a Victoria's Secret and talk to a salesperson
That's
about
interesting.
stuff and try, and like, after a little while, we figured out what was going on, and like, it was like, okay, it's a little annoying to have to deal with this, but like, this is a good thing that they're trying to do. They're working on, like, their stutter, and I'm not going to be a dick about it. So
to me, like, we're talking about bravery and manliness. Like, you can't get any braver than that. You know what I mean? You're confronting something that not only are you possibly embarrassed about your stutter, but you're embarrassed about the location that you're working on your stutter. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, I think that's the kind of thing that's tremendously brave, and it's the kind of thing that people in the Manosphere would be like, "Oh, you're a stutterer, and you're like, yeah, that's the picture of bravery, man." Like, that's doing the tough thing. Well, Carlos, are you ready to fall in love?
I was born ready, Skip.
This week, our question is, how do you feel about your relationship with your mother?
You're asking me formally now.
Yeah, I'm asking you formally. Unless you just want to talk about the question.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss the syntax of the sentence. No, my relationship with mother, I think, is great. Actually, I think it was always good. As I said before, I've mentioned her a million times. Probably categorizes me as a mama's boy at some point. I'm sure, but yeah, she was a loving mother growing up. She was a good caretaker. I think she taught me a lot about what humans are capable of. I think maybe we had a lot of adult conversations with all of us. She probably told us more adult stuff than maybe children should know. But I think as a result, we became savvy of how the world actually is. So yeah, I mean, I knew what to expect of like people. I don't know. She was a very honest parent. Yeah, I think we had some strife when I was a teenager because I was a little shithead, and I remember this is a man sort of topic. I remember when my voice deepened. We were I don't know, she was nagging me about something, or she was mad at me about something, and like I just shouted at her and my voice boomed. And maybe I told this story before, I don't know, but I remember seeing like she kind of like was taken aback, and I was like, oh, like my voice just scared her. And yeah, I was like 15. It was kind of a turning point for me as far as like where I was going, as a developing man. But yeah, so I was a real asshole as a teenager, and moved out very, very young. And I think because of that, when we weren't, you outgrow yourself, and I stopped being a dickhead when I became a young man. And yeah, we've had a good relationship ever since, I think. And
that's good.
I'm glad she's still around, and I'm glad that we're not at odds with each other. And I'm grateful that she's my mom. What about you? How do you feel about your relationship with your mom?
I mean, it could be better. Like, it's not bad. It's not like we're not adversarial or anything, but like when you talk about like we had a lot of adult conversations and things, we absolutely did not have a lot of adult conversations.
Okay.
In fact, like, so I'll give you an example. Like, at one point, my mom came home, and I was canoodling with a lady friend on the couch when I was in high school. And like, I heard the keys, and I don't know, I flew from the room. Like, I was gone. And she walked in, and my girlfriend was like, she couldn't get out of the room fast enough, I guess. And she was just like pulling up her pants or something like that.
You just booked it.
I was gone. It was like, I thought she would come along behind me, and it did not. That was not the case. Yeah, I don't think I've ever moved so fast in my entire life. But later on, like the farthest that we would go, she just later on said, "You're not allowed to have girls over when I'm not home anymore."
Yeah.
And like I pushed it, and I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "You know why." And that was it. Like, that's, and like same thing kind of with my dad, like when it just wasn't that kind of family. Like,
right.
I think that, people have the sex talk. My dad was like, about that stuff. And I was like, yeah, we learned about it at school. And he's like, okay. So, we have kind of this prescribed formal, like relationship that, I wish there was something more, but I've kind of come to terms with it. And
Yeah.
there's other complicating factors, like my mom and my sister have like a fairly unhealthy relationship.
Hmm.
And I've sort of been kind of the side dish for all those years. So that's just, that's just the way it is. And like, it's something that I struggle with my kids because, you get the modeling, right? And
Right.
I struggle to, just like we were talking about with the thing this week, actually, about not showing affection and love. Like, it's hard. It's hard. I don't have a good model for how to do that. And like, there's times where I see my wife and my son like cuddling or whatever, and they're much more affectionate than me and him are. And like, it's like I want to know how to do it, and
Right.
I don't quite know how, and I work on it, and I don't know if he listens to this or not, but like after I said I wanted to, like, I think early episode I said I wanted to like hug my son, like cuddle with my son and watch something, and I did, and he's made like he's made from his side a big effort to like be much more huggy and stuff like that, and it's been really nice. And obviously I'm trying as well, but he's like, he's young, so he doesn't have all these issues, and he's just like
Right.
really helpful in that process for me. And it's weird to say, because it's like I don't not want to do any of these things.
Right.
It's just like it doesn't feel natural, and it's a process of like you said, your grandfather didn't show a lot of emotion. Neither did mine. My memory of my grandfather was just, because he also had a brain tumor on my mom's side, was just that the fact that he knew who I was amongst all the grandkids, because with
Right.
8 kids, there was a lot of grandkids,
Right.
was
Right.
like, that was a big moment. It touched me. And then on the other side was a Texan carpenter, and like, he'd sit down and play Yahtzee with you or do a puzzle. That was about it.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just, they showed their affection in different ways. And like, I do all that stuff. I do show affection in a way that I do, and it's demonstrative, but like, I want to get to something that's more like how my wife interacts with the kids. And it's difficult. And I think some of that comes from that's what I knew. So
If you want my unsolicited advice,
yeah.
and observation, I guess. So my advice would be, I would just keep doing what you're doing, because the observation is now following is that these little things that you're doing, because I have no doubt that both your boys are going to be above average intelligent adults. Just from between the two of you are above average intelligence, I think. And I think if you just continue what you're doing, whether it's awkward or whether it doesn't feel natural to you, your boys are going to be like, "Oh yeah, Dad tried." You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember this
Mhm.
instance where we sat and we hugged and we watched like a movie, and yeah, maybe it wasn't so often, or maybe it was out of the blue or whatever. But like, I could see now as an adult,
Yeah.
he was trying, and I think that, man, that's going to go a long way for you. I think just in how they're going to be when they're fathers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is that thing. It's like every generation tries to do a little bit better. And I'm actually pretty good verbally. I'll just like every once in a while I'll just stop and be like, "You guys know it. You guys know how much I love you, right? I love you like crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that's
insane
huge,
how
man.
much
That's
I love
huge.
you." But then I'm like,
But
"Go do the
that's
dishes."
That's funny. Buttering them up. Now go
Yeah.
do chores. Yeah. No, that's huge, man. I think, and again, like, whether or not you're the type of like affection that you want to be, I mean, telling someone how much you love them that's big. That matters, and it's a big deal, I think. And that to me, that's good enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have any kids, but like, I mean, my father didn't say that to me, and he wasn't
Yeah.
physically affectionate either. So, but if he had said that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, he wasn't really like a loving guy, but like, he told me all the time, so I knew it was in his
Right.
head. And he just wasn't like physically affectionate. So I don't know. But real quick though, I wanted to go back. I mean, for as far as like having adult conversations, like, I mean, my mother kept her emotions pretty close to her chest. Like, she wasn't super open about stuff like that either. But when I said like adult conversations, one that really sticks out in my head was she had a gay friend who lived in South Texas, and and he was of like Latin culture, like we were. And I remember like her having just open conversations with me about it, like, and
Yeah,
saying how, like, oh yeah, we would talk about him. I probably had questions too. I can't remember what may have
sure.
sparked those conversations, but like something that stuck in my head. And this is in the '80s, mind you. I was very young, seven,
Right,
eight,
right.
nine. And for what I'm about to
Different
say, which is why I said the
times.
'80s. Yeah, different
Yeah,
times. But
different times.
when she would say something like, what stuck in my head was her having a conversation with him, and then her telling me the conversation that he would say that he was born this way and that he wishes he could not be gay. He
Hmm.
said that he thought life, and like I said, this is in the '80s when like things were a
Yeah,
lot
right.
harder,
Of
I think.
course.
But he wishes he wasn't gay because he thinks that life would be a lot easier for him if he was
Yeah,
just born straight, and that he wishes he didn't have to be that way, but he is, and that's just the way it is for him. And that's what I mean by like these adult conversations, is because you have like a child processing those words. You know what I mean? Like, what does that
right.
mean? And I think it really taught me how to be empathetic and to be like, okay, I'm thinking of it from this grown man's struggle in a something that I'll never experience that, because I wasn't gay even as a small child. You know what I mean? Like, there was no
Yeah,
hint of that, I think, even as a young kid. So yeah, that's what I meant by adult conversations,
sure.
is she didn't shield us from stuff like that. And I don't know, how prevalent that is these days. I don't know what
Yeah.
parents are telling their kids now, but that was a
I'm,
very adult thing to be telling someone, I think, as a kid.
I mean, I think there's a whole range now, like there's people, you still see people that are like, how do I explain gay people on TV? And it's like, man, they just love each other. There's just like, I kind of, the flip side of that is like, I grew up with an aunt that was gay, and she lived with another lady for a long time. I had no idea they were gay. My
Mhm.
family didn't talk about it, nothing like that. Then you get to my generation, and like one of my best friends was gay and lived with us. And when we had our son, and he was like always around, it was like for our kids, it's like nothing. Like there's who cares? Like, why they don't
Right.
even understand, like, how, as it should be. They have no idea why people give a shit about it,
Well, it's really
And
nice to hear.
it's like, yeah, we have those types of adult conversations. We're very good at communicating. I might not be awesome at being as affectionate as I'd like, and as loving of a dad as I'd like to be. And I think as a parent, you often see your failings, but like, we are very good about having adult conversations. And, for better or for worse, we've had situations in life where we needed to, because there's just like, kids are smart and kids know a lot of what's going on. And in
Right.
like situations with trouble, like, you can't just pretend there's not anything going on. And like, yeah, it's not great that they have to deal with adult things all the time, but like, pretending they're not happening is certainly far worse than trying to have a reasonable conversation and explain what's going on.
Or
And
or actively trying
yeah,
to shield them from this thing too. I mean, again, I'm not a parent, but like, to me, that doesn't seem helpful, because they're going to encounter this thing eventually.
yeah,
And I mean, whatever it is, and they're going to not be prepared for it. You know what I mean? Or it's going to be a shock to them, or they're going to be naive, or they're going to be inexperienced. And like, just, little, it's like an allergy, just like little exposure. You know what I mean? Like, just,
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
so they're aware of it.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's something that me and my wife talk about, because like, growing up with certain people in my life that were, alcoholics, or had certain mental conditions that were troublesome, or just people that were terrible in my
Mhm.
life. Like, I grew up learning about all the red flags. Like, I
Yeah.
knew I
Same.
knew what they were. And my wife grew up very happily, and she did not know the red flags. And
Yeah.
learning them the hard way as an adult looks way worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not like you want to expose your kids to bad situations, but you also don't want to like completely blindside them that they don't exist.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just bad situations, but just also like the whole thing with just like gay people. Like, that's not even an adult thing. That's just a reality of the world. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is this is an easy one.
Right. 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 Right.
Like, that's a guy that loves guys. Okay. Kids don't put any bullshit on that. They're just like,
Right.
okay, you know?
And
So,
my example was less of like, oh, there's gay people in the world, but more of like
yeah.
the struggle that this man was experiencing
No,
back
right.
back then. Yeah. But
Yeah.
you reminded me also. This is I worked with a woman, I don't know, 15 years ago. No, more than that. About 18 years ago. And in the whole like getting to know you phase of the new job that I was working at, She was telling all the new hires how kind of a conversation like this where everyone was revealing something about themselves, and she was a very kind of, I don't know if she was shy, but she was a very soft spoken woman, very kind, and she was talking about how if she could, I think the question was something along, if you could change something about your upbringing. And her thing was that she grew up on a commune with her like hippie parents. And she was about my age. She wasn't like, they weren't like classical hippies, but they grew up, raised her on a commune. And they raised her under these ideals that were unrealistic and for functioning in the world. And exactly like I was saying before, maybe this is where it kind of like got ingrained in my head, that she was unprepared for a lot of stuff. And she said that she wishes that like, yes, raise me in this way with these ideals, but like teach me how the world actually works still, so that I know I can make a choice. And she wasn't living on a commune. She was trying to make her way through the mainstream world, and she just didn't have the tools for it. And she felt unequipped for it. So there's a place for your principles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I have like sympathy for parents being a parent. Like, it's hard. Like, you want to protect your kid, but at the same time, and you don't want to like overcorrect and be like, life is totally shitty and I'm going to make it as hard for you as possible so that you're a tough adult. But like, there's got to be, there's a happy medium that you have to aim for, where it's like, I want you to live a nice, safe, caring life, but you need to know what to watch out for as well, as far as bad things. And you also just need to be like cool with people being different and shit.
Yeah, well, you have to be, otherwise you're just gonna be miserable.
All right, so you wanted to talk about balls, right?
That's all I ever want to talk about. Well, we're in Movember now, which is November, and it is a campaign for, what is it a campaign for, Skip? Help me out here. I'm drowning.
Men's health.
Specifically,
and bringing awareness to men's health.
And specifically, last episode we talked about
big old prostate cancer.
I hope you enjoyed the ending of our last episode, because it just tickles me every time I hear it. And then we're going to talk about today testicular cancer, and next time we'll briefly cover the fun suicide among male population. But very briefly here, because there's not a whole lot to talk about here, but testicular cancer, just a quick rundown of what it is. It starts in one or both testicles. It can be two types, or two main types: seminomas, which is 40 to 50% of the cases, and they grow slowly and affects men in their 30s to 50s usually. And non-seminomas, that's 50 to 60% of cases. They grow faster and typically seen in men in their late teens to their 30s. I'm sure there's outliers in both cases. It's the most common cancer in men aged 15 to 35. Roughly 1 in 250 men will develop testicular cancer in their lifetimes. In the U.S., around 9,000 to 10,000 new cases per year. And it is a very high cure rate of about 95%. So just like prostate cancer, it's highly treatable. I won't say it's preventable necessarily, but if you catch it in time, it's not a big deal. You just got to deal with it. Symptoms include a painless lump or swelling in one testicle, feeling of heaviness or aching in the scrotum or lower abdomen, and change in size, firmness, or shape of a testicle. There is occasional pain or tenderness, and if it spreads, just like in prostate cancer, you can experience pain elsewhere in your body, like back pain, chest pain, a cough, or even shortness of breath. Risk factors: family history, an undescended testicle, which I guess that's maybe quite common. I don't know how common that is, but I guess you'd know it if your balls haven't dropped. Previous testicular cancer is also a risk factor. Abnormal testicular development. Apparently there's syndromes for that. If you're infertile, or if you have testicular atrophy, I guess I don't know what that means. I guess your ball kind of shrinks.
Yes, your balls shrivel up.
Working. Yeah, I guess so.
They just shrivel up. Like I guess that happens with steroids and stuff.
Well, sure. Yeah, that makes
sense.
A side
effect of that.
Yeah. And for testicular cancer, white folks have the highest rate globally, specifically Caucasian white folks. So in prostate cancer, the black population had a higher incidence, and in testicular cancer, white ethnicity is higher up. You can be diagnosed via a physical exam, via ultrasound of the scrotum, which sounds really just kind of uncomfortable, having an ultrasound in your balls. But that's one way. A blood test for several different tumor markers, CT scan, or an MRI to check if it's spread. I guess they've already been diagnosed, and they'll just see if it's been spread or not. Treatment includes surgery, which they'll remove the affected testicle. I think they can even insert like a little like spheroid in there and have you.
I would imagine.
Like a prosthetic. Yeah.
So that you don't feel lopsided or whatever.
I guess
Run
so.
funny,
Yeah,
guess.
I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what that would be like. I mean, I've met a couple of guys in my day who only had one testicle. I'd never asked them the details of it, but they did have testicular cancer.
Yeah.
And they had, it's called, what is it called here? It's called radical inguinal orchiectomy. Orchiectomy? Yeah. Anyway, it's when they remove one of your testicles.
Sounds really cool.
It sounds radical. So radiation therapy is another, a chemotherapy, and then there's some common drugs
Gotta go nuke your balls.
to treat it all. And again, of the two main types, one of them is more responsive to chemo, one of them is more responsive to radiation. I assume both of them use common drugs. And then active surveillance. If you have a early stage disease, you just got to watch it closely. Blood work, immediate treatment,
Check
that
your
kind of
balls.
thing.
Get
Check your
somebody else
balls.
to check your balls.
Get someone else if you need to. You know, make it a date night sort of thing. The overall cure rate is 95%. Early stage is greater than 99% survival, even with the spread to the lymph nodes or lungs. Apparently, that's the thing. Greater than 80% of men are cured. Long-term side effects of chemo and radiation therapy can include fatigue, fertility issues, increased cardiovascular risk, but apparently that's manageable as well. So yeah, if you're diagnosed, just keep getting checkups, at least for 5 to 10 years, physical exams. The doctor's going to tell you all this stuff anyway. And then do a monthly self-check. Just roll each testicle gently between your thumb and fingers, feel for lumps, swelling, or hardness, and report any changes immediately to a doctor. That's testicular cancer, I guess.
Yeah.
You can also...
You know what's striking to me about both this and prostate cancer is you're saying, like the survival rate is so high and like it's so treatable as long as you get checked and get help early. And I think when we talk about doing things for men's health, it's almost a good question of like, why do we have to do this? It's because men won't go to the fucking doctor. Men won't go to the doctor. They won't check these things out because it's just a stupid macho thing. But really it's about fear and just be brave, go to the doctor, get your nuts checked.
In this case, check your own nuts. And if you feel something,
check your own nuts.
You don't bury your head in the sand. If you feel something, you got to face it and deal with it because even though it's highly treatable, if it spreads, it's cancer. It can kill you like any other cancer. You know what I mean? It's very treatable otherwise. But if you ignore it because you just don't want to deal with it, it could be life-threatening.
And I'll fess up here. I was one of these dumb men that I have sort of like a third nut. It's not really a third nut. It's something else, but it feels like a third nut. Okay. And I didn't know what it was. And I didn't go to the doctor for a long time. And I should have. And one day, I guess it wasn't that long, but one day, you get your physical and they do the little palpations down there. And the doctor was like, oh, you've got a... And I was like, okay, I guess you're not scared about that. So I'm going to be okay. It wasn't a serious thing. And I think people get scared. And I should have gone, but I was also young and dumb and stupid. And I get that it's uncomfortable or it's scary, but most of the time, it's either going to turn out to be not something to worry about. You sat wrong or something like that. Or it's going to be something that would be something to worry about if you don't go to the doctor. And so just go get it checked out and taken care of, you said, check the shape. If it's shaped there's the 3 McNugget shapes, there's the circle, the oval, and the boot. If it's circle or oval, you're all right. If it turns into a boot, go to see the doctor.
Right. and getting it checked out is so freeing too, because it's whether you're ignoring it or putting it off, it's in the back of your mind. And it's going to affect you. Just go deal with it, and you'll be free. You'll be free of that. You know what I mean? And while we're fessing up to medical ignoring, when I was a teenager, 17, 18 years old, I think, I know what it is now. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I had a urinary tract infection. I don't know if you ever had one of those, Skip, but it is extremely painful to pee when you've got one of those.
Yeah.
And it was alarming. It was scary. I didn't know what it was. And I had it for a week, and it sucks to have one of those things. And really antibiotics takes care of it right away. But I just went right through it. And I didn't go to the doctor. I just peed on my tippy toes because it hurt. It hurt. But drinking water made me pee more, which made it hurt. But then not drinking enough water made it hurt more because it was more acidic and it just sucked.
Yeah.
But again, rather than deal with it, I just stuck my head in the sand and pushed through, and it went away. But a urinary tract infection, your whole system can go septic and you can die from that. it can enter your bloodstream and that it enters your whole system and you're fucked. You're not necessarily, you can still be treated, but like it goes from a not serious thing to an extremely serious thing. And just like you with your medical issue before, I just didn't deal with it. And like, I guess I was young and had a robust immune system. So my body just cleared it. But like that could have gone the other way. And I would have been like, oh, now I have a fever. Now I have the chills. Like, oh, I'm sick. And if I just didn't deal with that, I could have been dead. You know what I mean? And that happens. That happens to a lot of elderly, actually. They get urinary tract infections.
Humans we're very stupid. We're not great with medicine. So we know all the thing about male science and male medicine because we've studied it to death, and then men won't go to the doctor. And women will go to the doctor, but we've never studied them. So we have no fucking clue what's going on. It's just a complete mismatch.
Well, and the last thing I want to say about this, because I forgot, is removing one testicle, the affected testicle, rarely affects fertility. So it's not like you're not going to be able to have kids again. You got one functioning ball, you're going to still be able to produce sperm, fertile sperm, and assuming you don't have another condition that doesn't allow that. You can be a prolific breeder with one testicle, and you'll be just fine. And if that's even a concern, you can still bank your sperm before chemo, before surgery, and you can still produce children that way. I don't know what the costs are associated with that, but I know it's probably not the cheapest thing in the world. But anyway, there are options. So don't let that, if you have a reason to believe like you might be affected by this, doesn't mean you're going to get a testicle removed. You can be treated otherwise, but don't let infertility stop you from getting checked out because you're not necessarily going to become infertile from this.
And if there's a man in your life that you know that doesn't go do this stuff, bug them about it. And if it makes them uncomfortable, bug them about it more until they say, I'm just going to keep talking about your nuts till you go till you go see the doctor. Or, I'm going to talk about your prostate. I'm going to make you real uncomfortable. Because, I mean, like, that's like the main thing, right? It's not like there aren't treatments for these things. The Movember thing is about men's health because men don't take care of themselves. Start those conversations. Keep us dummies healthy.
Be a man and deal with it. Be a man. Yeah. And when I say deal with it, I mean deal with it in a healthy, constructive way by going to your doctor, not dealing with it by not dealing with it.
Shove it down so deep.
Bury it.
So as we're thinking about being afraid of things, ball and prostate checks, and doctors and showing affection. This is the episode of Men Being Cowards. I would like to hear about your epic display of cowardice about something with zombies.
Oh, yes. And I mean, we're not too far out of Halloween, so this is still relevant. As I said before, I think that the origin of this is watching Michael Jackson's Thriller in like 1984, I think. And I love the video where he's a zombie. He's like dancing as a zombie. There's a bunch of zombie dancers. But he's a scary zombie, and I remember enjoying the song "Thriller" as a song, and watching the video on MTV as like a 4-year-old, and like being terrified watching all these zombies and Michael Jackson's like scary eyes as a zombie, but enjoying the song. And after that, watching the Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and all the sequels. And
all the dead
to this day, I still watch a good zombie movie. Except now the genre has them running. Before they were just slow and they would overwhelm you by just the numbers. And they would rip you to pieces. Now they catch you because you're hauling ass and they're like right behind you running as fast as you can.
And they don't hurt, so they're not tired. Yeah.
They don't hurt at all. So I still have occasional zombie nightmares to this day, but as a kid I had them a lot, and to where I would always, when I would start a new job or whatever, I would look to the rafters and I'd say, okay, what's my zombie escape plan? And I would always think like, what would I do in this situation if like the shit hit the fan? Okay, I'd climb that ladder, I'd climb up onto the roof, and I would just like die on the roof because I'm not going to get eaten and I'm not going to become a zombie. Like those are the two things that I don't want.
Yeah.
So I always had a plan. It became a joke among like girlfriends and stuff. Even so that like I said in the last episode that my sister dressed as a zombie to like fuck with me as a one Halloween thing. So I'd always thought it was kind of a funny thing until I was 23 years old, and my girlfriend at the time, we were walking out of her apartment, and there was like a little ravine, like a creek really, that you had to cross like a long bridge. It was maybe like 50 feet, maybe 75 feet. It was like a footbridge though, to cross over this little creek to get to the parking lot. And we were walking together and she was behind me because it was like not a lot of space for side by side, shoulder to shoulder walking. And there was a person who was already on the bridge. Or no. She was about to get on the bridge. and she was walking with like this weird lurch, and she was barefoot, and she had like, I don't know, she just had these weird jerky movements. She was not like what I would consider like a normal, healthy human being, but
Yeah.
it was like deeply, deeply unsettling. And I was like, she's about to be on the bridge to where I'm going to have to scooch past her. Like she's not waiting. She was like,
Yeah.
like anybody else would stop to let us get
Right.
off the bridge. And she wasn't doing that. She was coming forward. And and as I got closer, I was like, oh, like her feet are dirty. Her hands are dirty. Like she's disheveled. Like she was wearing like a nightgown sort of thing. And she looked dirty. And as I got closer, I saw that one of her eyes was like a milky blue, and she was groaning. I'm like, oh my God. I went into animal mode. And I didn't run.
Yeah.
But I walked so briskly that I wanted to get off that bridge and away from this person so that I'm not like having to brush by her. And I just abandoned my girlfriend. You reminded me of it when you said when your mom came home. When your mom came home, you just booked it. I did the exact same thing for this zombie person that was about to eat me. And I was like, well, every man for himself. I've realized then, like the zombie apocalypse, doesn't matter who I'm with, how much I love a person, you're on your own in the zombie apocalypse. And I left her on the bridge and I just booked it. And long story short, this person, became interested in us, and like she started following me, but she was lurching. She was going really slow. She clearly had some mental facilities that weren't all there, and she was clearly neglected. Whoever was taking care of her wasn't taking good care of her. And so my girlfriend and I, we decided, well, we better call the police. And like, so she went off to call the cops, and I stayed with this person, and she just kept following me. And even though I wasn't scared anymore because I realized what was going on, I just kind of like, she was coming at me. She was reaching for me, and I just kept stepping out of her reach, and I was just staying with her. But like, I didn't want her grabbing me. And we were there till the cops came, and then as the cops arrived, we told the cops like what this person looks like. She's neglected, and she's clearly got out from some.
Don't let her bite you. Don't let her.
Don't let her get you. We want you to stay healthy. And as the cops arrived and we were explaining the situation, like her caretaker, a sister or aunt, or I don't know who she was, came running out and was like, "Oh, I was so worried," and like hugged her and was like, "Well, if you were so worried, like why aren't you taking better care of this person?" But anyway, that was that. So that was my epic display of cowardice. I realized right then and there, like I did have a real problem with zombies, and when the time came to defend the people in my life, I completely abandoned that responsibility. I would not be there for them. So
that's funny. Yeah, I another similarity between us, aside from just liking the zombie movies, I also have had zombie dreams many times over the years. But I don't like. So when I have nightmares, I don't find them scary. It's more like a movie for me. So I'm not like, I don't wake up scared or anything. I'm just like, oh, I'm dealing with zombies today. And we also, when Jess and I were in college together and with some other people, we would also drink and make zombie escape plans wherever we were. And we'd talk about like meetups and where we'd go. And when I moved to the Czech Republic, it's so dense and stuff. I just gave up. You just do your best to get to the river, and you're probably gonna die. That's it. Like America's doable. Europe in a big city.
There's way too many people there. Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah. There was I always had a joke with another ex-girlfriend of mine where I was like, man, if there's a zombie attack, I'm going to make myself a sandwich, get a bottle of water, go up on the roof, and that's where I'm dying. Like I'm
yep.
like, good luck to you all. I'll be up there until I starve to death. And I'm not gonna be torn to pieces or eaten alive. Well, my question for you, it might be for a longer conversation because I have an answer for me as well, but I feel like we'll go on and on about this. Have you ever experienced jealousy, like real jealousy? Have you ever experienced it before?
Oh, yeah. When I was young, I was terrible. Like my first girlfriend. Yeah, I really didn't know how to handle it. It was just way too much for me. I was not mature enough. And I mean, I think there's still like a little jealous streak in me, but I deal with it more maturely now.
Okay.
I think. But yeah. I definitely, I mean, we could have a longer conversation about it, but yeah, I didn't like do anything like crazy or controlling or anything, but I do remember feeling a lot of jealousy and not really in control of any of my emotions with my first love. Like I was just all over the place. And I was much better after that, but it was just like too much. It was too much to handle.
Yeah. Well,
That
this,
first love.
you know what? Maybe we can bring it up next time because or in the future anyway, because I do think it's a good topic, and I think I recalled my first girlfriend as well, and it's the same thing. I feel like I had like little moments of jealousy with her, but I remember when we broke up, like her just being confounded, like what just happened?
Yeah,
and it was just me being like jealous, like for no reason at all, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, boys and their jealousy, but I guess women have it too, and I think that's something that we'll have a conversation about as well.
I've definitely dated women that were jealous as well, but
yeah. So have I.
Hopefully, I think we're in a healthy way now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't. We'll save it. I think this was a good little intro for maybe having a longer conversation about this. Yeah, it's rich. It's rich with discussion, I think.
So, Carlos.
Yes, sir.
What's your joy for the week?
My joy for the week, Skip, is a real joy. I hate that it's about a movie, but it is. So, as I told you before, there's some downtime when there's no emergency calls. So, like, I've been rewatching Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis. It's a remake of a 1960s movie. So I've been watching Little Shop of Horrors. You've seen it? Oh
my God. Did I not tell you this? I didn't. We just watched it with my youngest son because he wanted to watch a horror movie. And that was like the one that we found that we were like, this is just a great introduction for a kid that's scared of horror, like scared of movies. So we literally just watched it like last week.
No kidding. Well, buckle up, Skip, because what I'm about to say is probably going to, well, it might blow your mind. I hope it blows your mind because you know what? This is a synchronicity because, dude, after this happened, I texted one of my oldest friends, and he didn't give a shit. He was like, oh, I'm watching baseball, man up, because it's a musical, right? He's joking. He was joking. But and then I texted my sister because I know that we used to watch it a lot as children. I was like, well, she's the only other person that I know that would appreciate this. And she was like interested, but not really. And then I told Jody, and Jody was like, yeah, I'd never watched. She's never seen it. So after like maybe over a month, I've been watching like chunks of Little Shop of Horror because I get interrupted by a call and we got to go. And it's not at every station, so it's specific. And it's a musical, so I have it on down low because I'm watching a musical at the station. It's a ridiculous musical too. So
it's a fucking amazing musical.
I love it, dude. And I was watching on like a really high definition TV. I'm like, this is fucking fantastic. So
the music's amazing. Yeah,
the music's great. Yes, it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. But this is where the plot thickens, literally. So as I was watching it, I got to a scene where I'm like, I don't remember this. I was like, that's weird. I don't remember that. I could recite the lines of the movie. I remember the movie. Like I watched it over and over and again. And as it was going on, I'm like, I don't remember this. And I was like, this is like a new scene for me. And it kept going. And I was like, this is an alternate ending. I watched 15 minutes roughly. I had to go back and check. It's like 15 minutes with a completely different ending to Little Shop of Horrors. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is a different movie. A completely different movie. And is it a joy? Do I feel joyous watching this ending? Not really, but it is a totally different movie. And the joy was like, I don't know, man. It was like it's like entering an alternate reality because I'm so familiar with this movie, and after all these years, this jewel that just suddenly appeared, and I got it was like watching it all over again for the first time, and it was a totally different movie. Totally different movie.
Fun.
And I Googled it, and don't Google it because if you Google it, it's going to spoil the whole thing.
I won't.
They released, it turns out this was the original ending and it didn't test well. And so they redid the ending with the one you probably, how do you remember? Well, I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone who's seen it, but.
It's like 40 years old.
Okay, sure. So how do you remember it ending?
So like he electrocutes the plant gets all big and he electrocutes the plant, the Audrey 2. And
you can stop right there. That's what we saw. That's what I grew up watching as well. Yeah. Sorry, I do want to stop it in case like anybody else wants to see. Yeah. So you were exposed to the exact same thing like most of the world.
Yeah.
And I think in 90, so that was the reshot ending. And there's an original ending. It's complete. It's not like it's raw footage. It's not like it's unedited. Yeah. It's a complete theatrical ending. And they released it in 98, I think. And then I guess they retracted it somehow. And then they re-released it in 2012, I think, on the DVD or whatever. So it's available. I don't know how you can get it, but it's out there.
Okay.
Totally different ending. and an absolute joy to watch, even though it wasn't exactly as happy of an ending as you'll remember it.
Well, that's fun. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, look for it. So anyway, that was a very long joy, but that's my joy, and it's still bringing me joy thinking about it. And I want to own that ending so that I can watch it again.
Well, that's funny because so Little Shop of Horrors, we watched it, and it was also a play that my high school did.
No, really?
I was talking to Jess afterwards because I love it. The Steve Martin as the dentist is just amazing.
I love it. Yeah.
And, there's all these little cameos with Bill Murray as his patient he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And, you've got all these great people in it, John Candy, Rick Moranis, everybody. And, they did it at my high school, and I was in wrestling at the same time, and the drama teacher had wanted me to try out for it. And I have thought about that for a long time because, like, when I was young, a lot of my teachers were, oh, he's going to be a stand-up comedian. He's going to do something. And I never wanted, like, all those things were attracted, like acting or whatever, or artist, but I didn't want to do those as a job because I was like, I know too much the trope of people starving as artists or trying to make it. It's too competitive. And so we were laying in bed and I was like, man, I wonder what would have happened if I had just like manned up and not done wrestling and with the heavyweight was on our team. He ended up playing Mr. Mushnik. And I was like, I should have just like manned up and been in this play. And I think part of it was being afraid of being in front of, we had like a big theater. Our school was over 3,000 kids. Like, that's a lot. And
that's scary. That's legit scary for sure.
But
what was the part that they wanted you to try out for?
He just said he wanted me to try out. I don't know what part I would have gotten, but I would have gone for the dentist for sure. Because
oh, really? I was gonna say
it's such a great one.
I was gonna say I could see you as the plant. I think you would have been a good Audrey too. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So this to me, Seymour. That's it. This is a second joy for me because honestly, man, for about a week I have been unsatisfied. I'm like, I did not get the reaction from anybody, and then this little surprise here that your response to it is exactly what I wanted. So this is perfect.
Oh yeah, no, I've got to go find this. This is great.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, even if you don't, the fact that I got to talk about it, which is all I really wanted. I wanted to tell somebody about it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so what's bringing you joy this week?
My joy was getting to see my friend Patrice. It was kind of a surprise, short notice visit. So, like, we knew for a couple weeks. So it wasn't like the last minute, but we had already booked this trip before that. So I was really glad that we got some time together. She got to spend a couple nights at our place, and that was really nice. That was a very clear joy for the week. Thanks for joining us. New podcasts every Wednesday, and if any part of this show has resonated with you, let us know at outsidethemanosphere@gmail.com, Instagram, Facebook, and now YouTube. Please like, rate, subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel, or recommend us to a friend. We hope you'll come back. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This probably won't make it in, hopefully. I'm going to tell you. When I was a little kid, I used to think, one of the reasons that I started drawing, I used to think that as part of like a courtship thing, I would have to someday draw like my penis and balls to give it to a woman.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. It was just like a feeling I had. And like, so there, I guess it's, pre-dick pic. It was a dick and balls drawing. Yeah.
I was going to say, is that the genesis of your dick pic fixation?
No, but I've never done a dick pic, and I've never given anybody a drawing of my penis or balls, nor did I ever practice at any point. But when I was a kid, for some reason, I thought it might be something I would have to do. So yeah, balls have a special place in my heart, I guess.
Yeah.
Strange anatomy.
Did how old were you when you had these thoughts and ideas?
Oh, it's probably like 5 or 6.
Okay,
just because I knew like my parts were different than lady parts.
Yeah,
and I was just like, well, at some point I'm gonna have to let people know about this somehow. It's not gonna be by showing them. I'm gonna draw a picture.
Well, that's a little interesting sidebar that maybe I can use.
We'll see.
We'll see how we can edit this.